they give a sense of purpose, gainful activities. So there's a gain, you have to gain something, and it gives a sense of purpose and significance. If I have no purpose, if I don't gain something, and it doesn't give me that sense of purpose, I just walk away probably. I go and find it somewhere else. We're all searching for significance. And I think that was coming through in some of the things that we were talking about during the week in Russia. So what we decided to do, it came out of one workshop, is that we would like to, we're going to kind of nurture this network in Europe. At the minute it's been nebulous, but we want to come up, and it's how European actually is, we want to come up with a common declaration of time-banking. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because we wanted to kind of assert, and that may sound totally opposite to what Stephanie and Mario said, we actually want to assert what we think time-banking is about in Europe. So one of the issues that came up was the exchange of goods for time. And during that week, it was more or less, no, that was not an hour for an hour, it wasn't exchange of goods. So it's something we're going to tease out. But the declaration is really, it's more about setting up what we mean by time banking, but also in terms of European funding, and in terms of getting the thumbs up from the stakeholders, government in Europe. It's very European to have this, like the charters or whatever. So that's what we do. We have one of those. So we're going to be working on this now. Work on a draft, and we're going to put it out to the group that was involved. And then there will be another get-together in September in the Czech Republic, funded heavily by Europe, if we're still in Europe. So that's another thing we learned about, there is money in Europe for this kind of stuff. And we missed out completely on that. For Erasmus Plus is support. Do you know Erasmus Plus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's about, there's different strands. One is on youth, particularly, and this was actually about youth, funny enough. But we felt 20 years younger, don't be time.
Well, I was one of the young people.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, we all,
for your issues, you speak English? Everybody speak English?
Also at the conference?
Yeah, and for the chart, for the...
Yes, yeah.
So, because as we saw in Europe, in the European Union, each text must be translated in 20 languages. It's too hard and too impossible, really, or with a lot of money and spending time. So English would be the good reference.
Yeah, even when we started to week off, we didn't have any input into how it should be done and delivered.
Yeah.
They said we all speak English. There was a rule for the week. Everybody has to speak English for the week. We were saying that. We thought we were very fortunate.
So how did you get on it?
Well, by the end of the week, they're all speaking Scottish. We're speaking Scottish by the end of the week, but that wasn't us. I mean, they say the ground rule at the start, you do ground rules. Number one was everybody speaks English. And some of them found that a bit difficult, but they did it,
By the end of it, they all speak English, shouldn't they? Yeah. I mean, even the Ukrainians, it's very difficult because by the end of the week, they're speaking as fast as everybody else. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
But the thing is, for example, they 7 to 10 in the morning, they have to think in English as well all day, and you can see it was really start. By the end of the week, it was starting to get tired.
Aren't you afraid there is only a few people who can join this?
Well, that's something we have to work through.
Yes.
And I have raised that at the moment. For example, there should have been more people at this particular event, and some didn't come. I don't really know what the reasons were, but there should be more. And of course, there's a danger in that cluster, a happy, clappy group. We may be excluding others and say, well, who are these people to say they will have a common declaration? Who are they? So we have to, and I have raised that question. How do we make sure? But how do we move? Because the more we're involved in it, it slows it down. So it's something we have to work through.
But it's even a problem in our nations because, as in England, I suppose, many people can't speak the language English in England, French in France. Many people don't speak French. And so we must find a solution to make them come with us.
Yeah.
Like in Spain, in Sitges,
Yes.
Spain, we have a whole translation service. I think we've got 12 different languages. They're really
Yeah.
easy to translate.
It's Catalan.
Time credits, it's great. It's really good.
I mean, actually, another thing that really blew our mind is that, and by the way, breakfast in Russia, in the restaurant, got disco. I mean, we had disco. Disco.
It's like great music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we had a park up, and that was fun as well.
Very sweet.
But their command of English, astounding. I mean, you know, you hear, and I can't remember the words, but, you know, someone speaks to the crowd, and there are some words that I find still that you have to learn, blah, 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 blah. Nevertheless, you know, besides, you know, however, you use moreover, these are not, you don't pick it up, you know. And then when you ask them, how do you learn all this? And expression, and colloquial expressions are coming out. They say, we read, and we listen, you know, very interesting. And it's really fascinating. These Europeans, they're hungry for knowledge, and they're going, yeah, it's quite fascinating. So yeah, English is kind of the language. I think we just have to trust it.
You have to look at a point as well where you agree, you know, you're going to speak a certain language because otherwise you're going to have to change it every time. I think the good thing about that was we didn't set those rules. It was them that set the rules. They said, we want to speak in English.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like Dan says, I mean, I had a problem with that first, but I learned it as a week better.
Yeah.
One of the also are aware that we're corrupted languages.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, one of the other things that we did, it's difficult to actually, but there are so many special things that they do in a week. And even you know, when you're tired, they call it energizers, you know, they're just different, and really funny and really good. But one of the first things we did do that week, we created the Facebook account paper. It was one of the slides. And so we each had to create a page, Facebook page, pretend one, you know, paper. Your name, what did you go to with us, and then you had a little inbox. At the end of the week, we would have good little messages. And we each inbox. I've got some here. I've got them on my phone now. I've got, you know, it says, this is from Simi. I've learned lots of things from you. Thank you for everything. Love. You know. I've got another one here. And just, yeah, you get that the day before you go. Philippe, I could spend hours and hours listening to you, your stories. You're very kind, so empathic. And I hope I will see you again. Actually, it's very possible because I think I'm coming to come to London in spring next year. Wish you good luck, Rushey. I hope you can manage to get as many young people as you can. And you can, because together with Robert, you form a great team. You know, I don't know one there. My good friend Philippe, thanks so much for this week. You have made it so amazing, and I feel I have made a good friend. That's from you. You know, so I've been counting this. You know, Philippe, you're one of my favorites. And with that, I've said it all. Trust me. Where's Magdalena?